fact that she has so many samples on her person at all times, and that she knows her suppliers, I think. Whereas, and I still work with other marketers, don't get me wrong. With my other folks, I only get very specific things from them. And I tend to be grandfathered in. So when I start a job, we already have line items that are taken care of by other vendors. But for example, when I left the Diocese of Camden and I started working at Homeward Bound Pet Adoption Center, I brought Linda with me. So we didn't have anybody who did bandanas. We didn't have anybody who did magnets. So I was able to bring Linda and say, hey, I got a person for that.
Right.
Whereas we did have folks who would do posters or T-shirts and things like that, which Linda also provides. If I was unhappy in any way, and I can't even honestly think of a time where I didn't like something that Linda had sent over. But she would send me samples. Oh, actually, that's a really good example. So we did a car show for the very first time when I was at Homeward Bound. We actually did it last spring. And so I needed a bunch of car stuff. And surprisingly, Linda has car stuff too, like tire gauges, and you can brand them, surprisingly. Right. And so I asked her like, hey, do you have anything along these lines that we would be able to utilize in a swag bag for a car show? And sure enough, she went through her list and she came back to me with like 15 different items and said, hey, what about these? And I'll send you samples of these. And so she did, and I was able to go through and pick out things that we could use for the car show. If I were to have done that with my other vendors, I wouldn't have gotten a list back. I might have gotten like, well, we can do a T-shirt, like almost like the fire hydrant of information from Linda, whereas I'm pulling teeth with the other vendors.
Right.
So honestly, it got to the point where I didn't even bother with the other and I don't. It's the truth. I really don't bother with other vendors and things like that because there's no point. Linda takes care of all of it for me, so why would I go to somebody else? So that's why I like Linda so much. She really is a solutions provider.